SSDN here with another Hockey Parenting 101 video. In today's video I'm going to talk about a match made in heaven. What I mean by that is I'm going to talk about shoulder pads and elbow pads. And match made in heaven, I'm saying that for a specific purpose because if at all possible, my recommendation is that you buy shoulder pads and elbow pads as a combination. You can get away with pretty much any other brand or model of equipment in your child's hockey bag. And to be honest, you could even get away with it with elbow pads and shoulder pads, but I recommend that you try to match those up. And what I mean by match is that you match the shoulder pads brand, not only the brand, not only like CCM or Bauer or Warrior, but actually the model as well. Because when the designers of those pads are developing them, they are matching those two pieces of equipment up to minimize the gaps and maximize the protection given by that gear. So definitely recommend, if you're going to buy, that you can try to buy a matching set of shoulder pads and elbow pads. Understanding that if you have to buy used, it might be more difficult, but again, websites like Sideline Swap, and then even if you go to a swap meet that your association has at the beginning of the season, there's a good chance that that boy or girl who's dropping the gear off that they don't need anymore could be a matching set as well. But my recommendation is definitely trying to get a matching set of pads, elbow pads and shoulder pads, that are meant to fit together. So that's my take on that. Now we'll get into actually just the pads in general and what you should be looking for and what you should try to purchase or get for your son or daughter. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the shoulder pads. As you can see, the shoulder pads here, these are actually mine. I'm actually playing some adult hockey for the first time ever as a 46-year-old, so hopefully I make it through the season. But these are my pads, shoulder pads. As you can see, they look very similar to football pads. Like they got like this hard, soft and hard combination shoulder pad. It's plastic and material for some cushion. It's got a back pad. This one actually says Spine Guard Technology. A fancy term for, it's a back pad. And then it's got a chest pad that goes all the way down to below your sternum, almost to your belly, probably to your belly button, now that I think about it. And then there's also a upper arm guard. And then, I think that's it. And it's matching on both sides. Lots of Velcro. So when you're looking at these pads, especially if you're getting used pads, you want to make sure that all the Velcro is good. Definitely back coverage and chest coverage is great. If they're not as substantial as these pads here, if you might think they're a little high and you're worried about your son or daughter in like the sternum area, that you can also supplement that with some under gear. I won't say Under Armour because I'm not getting paid by them, but under gear to supplement that may have a sternum guard or like a heart area guard to supplement the shoulder pad. Another thing, you don't want them too bulky, so understand, and we've talked about this. I talked about this in my first video. Kids grow fast, so if and equipment's expensive, along with the ice time and everything that goes with hockey. If you feel that you got to go used, just try to make sure that you're getting the correct size, because you don't want them too bulky. You don't want your child fighting with their equipment while they're on the ice. You want it to fit as comfortably as possible. And then I mentioned the Velcro. Just make sure all the Velcro is in good condition, because you don't want the stuff coming loose. It also, if it does come loose, it'll get stuck to some other, like your jersey. So it might come loose during the game or the practice, and it just becomes irritating that your kid's trying to fight their gear while they're trying to play, which you don't want them to do. You want them to focus on the ice. That's the shoulder pads, and then here's the elbow pad. This is one elbow pad. This is like a monster elbow pad. But this guarantees that if I hit the ice, if I fall, which I'm going to fall a lot in adult league, I'm sure this year, that my elbow is protected. This also, yeah, this is the left arm. They're usually labeled. Could be confusing between the right and the left. They look very similar, but usually for elbow pads, it's the Velcro's coming from the outside in to attach it to the Velcro side. But usually you can actually put it on without even having to mess with the Velcro, and it'll still be pretty snug. But as you can see, my elbow pad here, it's hard to see with my camera the way it is, but it covers all the way from my upper arm, middle upper arm, bicep and tricep protection, full elbow protection, and then, significant forearm protection. Now, when we talk about glove later on in a later video, I'll show you that why the gloves look so big. It's because they're protecting this area here. If you end up getting gloves that are too small, that fit like normal snow gloves, and they only go up to here, you're gonna have a huge gap. So the hockey gloves that your child should be wearing are actually quite larger than you would expect. But anyway, with the elbow pads, the same thing. Just make sure it fits. You don't want it sliding off. Like this one, it takes quite a bit for it to fall off, but you don't want your kids skating and then having it sliding down because they'll be fighting with it all the time. And they'll also, if it falls down and they hit their elbow on the ice, there's a good chance they're going to be done for that game for sure. And they're going to be afraid to skate hard because they don't want to fall because they think they're going to get hurt. That's the last thing you want your child to be thinking about. You want them to just think about learning how to play. And if they fall, they can laugh it off because they're completely protected. So anyway, that's my video today. Just a quick video on elbow pads and shoulder pads and the match that I think is made in heaven. Because like I said, you want to try to get pads that match, at least for this gear, because they were made as a pair essentially when they were designed. So just keep that in mind when you're looking for equipment. If you can't find something that's matching, at least do some checks. Have your kids put the gear on if they can put the gear on if it's used, and make sure that it all fits and it all looks good and you don't see a whole lot of gaps in their protection. And with that, Crisis DN signing off here. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you.